We only a couple seconds late. Here we go now. So we are just getting it started. Let's get it started.
Oh.
Right?
Some knocking. Who knocking? Jacoby?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't nobody knocking.
Babe.
That didn't even help.
Knocked on the door, bringing me my tea, and I couldn't hear.
All right, so let's.
Thank you, babe.
Let's do this.
Thank you, babe. Oh, sorry.
I'm
just practicing.
All right, let's go ahead and play around with this and bring it back like we used to. Let's start it off a little something like this.
Let's get it started in here.
Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge presents the Saturday morning indie industry shop talk. I'm your host, Michael Melvin. Today, my co-host is Tamara TK Henderson and Jacoby Sims. And let's remind you what the Black Filmmakers Lounge is. It's an independent filmmakers where novelists or professionals come together to gain insight, perspective through education, information, and networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. Or interdependent, because that's what we are, interdependent.
Interdependent film community.
So we like to thank y'all for joining us today. Let us know where you're at. We are on both YouTube and Facebook. If you go to the Facebook page for the Black Filmmakers Lounge, you can see us. And we are looking forward to hanging out with y'all today. It is one of those things. So if you are in the Black Filmmakers Lounge community group, this is why you're in our group. This right here. This is the purpose of the group. In case you don't know. And so we've been gone for a minute. And so what we normally do is we start with what you're watching or what you've been watching. And we get into our show's topic. And the beautiful thing about today is we're talking about where we've been, where we're going, what 2024 through 2025 is going to look like, and the, of course, technologies and what's happening in the industry that we need to be paying attention to, not just from an independent perspective, but from a business perspective. And that's what we're doing, and we're going to wrap that all up. Hopefully in an hour. If we don't, of course, we'll be back next Saturday. But let's do this.
Uh-oh.
So, what is up?
What's up? It's been a long time, and I'm so glad to see both of you guys.
Same.
Yay.
Oh, thank you.
Just adjusted my camera. There we go.
Mm.
Raynita! Why am I cleaning? No, sorry. Raynita! It's itching. Oh, it's itching. Hello,
Yeah.
good morning.
So,
What's up? Tell
what
us
have
what
you
you
been
guys have been
watching?
watching and what's been going on.
Now we're gentlemen,
You're tuning
TK. Ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first. You know the rules.
So
around
what
here.
do you want? What I've been watching or what I've been
Yeah.
doing? What do you want?
What you been watching? Let's start with what you've been watching. We're gonna do that real
Okay.
quick.
What I've been watching. So I did get a chance to just gonna ramble off some stuff. Color of Purple. I did get to go see. American Fiction.
Mhm.
I am going to see Book of Clarence. And Marley comes out this week. Okay. One Love. Okay. That comes out this Valentine's Day. I saw Genius Malcolm X. So I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Every time another documentary comes out, it's like, even though, like the one with Biggie, the last one they came out with, it was like, can they come out with another documentary? Can it? And they really can, because these are things are really good. They're really good, and all of them to me are different. So Malcolm X through Genius, I like it.
Okay.
I like how they're paralleling the stories and telling the stories different. The different stories parallel, paralleling their lives and their monumental points in their lives at the same time. So
Right.
I like that. And What else? I watched something else I was gonna say. I can't remember. I can't remember.
It'll be something I probably watched.
Yeah, I can't remember because I know I've watched. I know I've watched more in the last 6 months, but I'll just as I remember, then I will write them down so I can tell it next time.
Chime in. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jacoby, you
Okay.
guess, homie.
Well, I've been watching a variety of stuff. But right now, the last two things I watched, I can't remember the documentary. I actually watched it this morning, and it was about that song, "A Weem Away."
Mm.
Y'all remember that song?
Oh, yeah. A
Disney.
weem away, a weem away.
Yeah. Now I'm even embarrassed to sing it, and I'm angry about it. No, because do you know what they were really that the words really are?
Oh,
Mbube, right? It is. It is. They came from a South African singer, and he never got really any money from it. And then when they won the case against Disney, the lawyers also took money from the family. So that song. So how it started was the song was they like the guy in South Africa sent some records to America, and the guy was saying Mbube, and you know how they do that high pitched falsetto thing,
Right.
That was an ad lib, but the word Mbube means lion, so he just kept saying lion over and over again, talking about himself. Mbube, Mbube,
wow.
because in South Africa, you know, like one thing I learned is that black people gonna be black people, and I'm saying that in the most positive and creative term. So in South Africa, these people were coming from the villages into the city to get jobs. They started singing groups. They called them choir groups, but you know what they were. They were just like those guys on the corner singing. And he was working for a record company, pressing records, and they recorded that song, the Mbube, Mbube, and it got anglicized to Weem Away.
Wow.
Wow.
And then it's a whole long story about all these derivations of a song. And the guy was uneducated, he couldn't write, but somehow he signed away his rights to it. And so it was deep. And so the lawyers and everything, so they lost all their privilege, like they lost in the American court in 2017, all their rights to Disney or whatever, the settlement and everything was over. So now so now that reusing, like the redoing of the Lion King, they don't have to pay the family anymore.
That's so sad.
That's crazy.
Right? And they didn't really pay the family as much because all the lawyers and all that took a lion's share of the money. Each of the three sisters got about $250,000 from all the millions. Because you got to think of the guy, David Weiss, who said he wrote it and all this other stuff. He's paid the record company, because remember the group, The Token? They sung the song and they made a lot of money. And the guy who brought it to America signed off his rights and wanted them to give his rights, his money, to the South African family. They never did it. They might have gave him $100 or $600 or something like that. And so I was watching that this morning, and that was deep. And so, yeah, I'm not feeling the Weem Away anymore. It's Mbube. And they actually got records that say Mbube on it. And they just changed it because they couldn't understand Mbube.
What is the name of the documentary?
I can't remember. I was just watching it this morning. Oh, Remastered The Lion's Share or something like that on Netflix. It's Remastered The Lion's Share or The Lion or something like that related to the lion.
On Netflix. I'm gonna watch that. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because Mbube is the Zulu word for lion.
Wow.
So when you watch the documentary, the guy talks about this is the thing that they made it this is the thing that the Zulus sing either going after they hunt the lion or when they come back. And they cut to the women and they told them that and they bust out laughing. They said they're saying the same word over and over. The song means nothing. He's just saying the lion. And he was probably talking about himself like he's the lion.
Yeah,
so,
it's
you know that
right
deep.
there, man.
And, But then I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
What did you think about that?
and I loved it, but I had to adjust.
Okay.
I had to adjust because when you think of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you think of two attractive people that are spies, right? And had
Mm-hmm.
this kind of toxic relationship, but also um, look good and kill people, right? It's
Right.
kind of sexy. It's a completely it's a completely different take on that with two people that
Okay.
are, I mean, they're attractive, but average, or a little more than average, that are going through this
They
level of
look like the
psychosis
average
because they,
Joe, the average person.
yeah,
Okay.
and they're going through all these things, and it's like this character study of what killing people and people who are spies, how could they have a relationship that's healthy, right? When they have all these
Mm-hmm.
other issues,
Hmm.
and some are supposed to disconnect because think about it, to go around killing people and doing spy stuff, you got to have some kind of level of psychosis or some psychotic, something off a
Right.
little bit. And so
Hmm.
it they went to a therapist. It kind of got into all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was really good. But you gotta adjust your thinking in the first 20-30 minutes.
Wow.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's good though. I liked it.
Um. So I guess I'm gonna drop in now.
Oh, hold
So
on. Two more I remembered real
hold
quick.
on,
I
let me get
watched.
mine out because I know they're the same ones. TK, I already know. We don't talk.
I promise they ain't. They're not.
American Fiction.
No, I already said that.
Oh, you did. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is role play and Gone Too Soon was a role play was on what was that Hulu? But
Mm-hmm.
Gone Too Soon was a documentary that popped up on Tubi. When he said documentary, that's what reminded me of Freddie Prince.
Okay.
That
Mm.
that you guys, that was he died at like 23. Like he like hit it and was gone. Yeah, and so it talked about his short life and in the industry, and he's the first Latino to be on primetime television. And
Mm.
it was very enlightening. But Gone Too Soon, Freddie Prince. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Okay. All right, they're not the same thing. Well, I saw American Fiction. I ended up buying it too.
Mhm.
Um, Origins.
Mm.
Then, of course, I watched Echo. That was really good on Disney. That's actually still charting on the Nielsen ratings right now. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's on Netflix. I've also seen Invincible. They have part 1 of season 2 now. Part 2 season 2 is coming out in March, March or April. Then why can't I think of this movie? Marshall Ali. Marshall Ali played a dad and his daughter who were Airbnb in a home to
Oh,
Julia Roberts and her
yes.
family. And the end of the world was coming. It was basically
Oh wow.
it
Okay.
was not the end of the world, but it was like a America was being
was-
attacked.
Yes.
Mm.
I saw.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Is that the one when the world ends or the world
Yeah,
leaves?
yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
You know what?
Yeah, my roommate was
Why
telling
am
me
I
about it.
looking when I done texted to 50 million people? Say, yo, you gotta
Left
watch this.
Behind or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it is because we've talked
The
about it, but
Obamas did it. Yeah.
it was really good. It was it was a really good talking piece, right? So I'll remember later. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna go through it, but it's
Look,
on
what?
Netflix. It's only on Netflix. So I watched that. Masters of the Universe. They have Revelations of Revolution now on Netflix. I mean, I probably watched a lot of things because I could do nothing but really watch movies. Of course, we've been watching the Power Universe. So we just finished book 2, the book Raising Canaan, because the season finale was this Thursday or Friday.
I haven't watched it. What is it about that movie or that TV show that has people like caught up?
Good
I mean, it
question.
is their version of the drug game. The writing is very well done. It creates its own mythology that if you understand it, you know what happens to characters, and you want to see how things play out. So come on, man, everything's a train wreck to me. You just want to watch, see how it happens. You know what I mean? But I like how they build on the universe and develop the characters. If you look at the first Power, towards the end of its run, we started hating Tyreek, the son.
Mm-hmm.
By the Power Book 3, we started cheering for the son. That's how good writing is. That's good writing to me. You made a bunch of people be like, kill this kid, get rid of it, you know, and then now they cheer for, they want to, people were saying stuff to him in the real world, like, dude, your dad should have whooped you, you know, like, so.
Yeah.
That's definitely good writing when they confront you on the streets.
Yeah, so like to me, that's powerful writing that we don't understand. And I like the universe. Like Courtney Kemp, she really did her thing. The creating and developing this whole universe, and you have multiple shows that go from past, present, I wouldn't say future, but what's going on with different people and where they're at. Because the Tommy one is in Chicago, Power Force. So Tommy's left New York. So it's like one of those shows you can really get behind. But it's really like, hey, you got this guy who comes up in the drug game who's like, I don't want to do this no more. I want to go straight. I want to do the right thing and get away from this. And the people around him, because he loves them and their family, keep pulling them in. So there's those dynamics. But yeah, that's it right there, you know.
That's it.
I haven't got into it. I watched it for like first half of the first season. And then to me, it was like every other story, Snowfall, all of it. And then it started to get predictable to me.
Right. Well,
and once it started to do that, then I stopped.
I learned my lesson as a filmmaker. You ready? It's all predictable.
Yes.
Because we study this. And so to us, I mean, to the average person, there are stuff that's just blatantly predictable. But to us, everything's predictable. Like, I can sit and tell you where something's going. My friends couldn't stand me when we went to see The Sixth Sense. They were like, you think he's dead? Like, they were like,
oh, no, I would have left you. I just can't get Somebody ruined Queen and Slim. Somebody ruined Queen and Slim for me on Facebook. And you know, I still haven't watched it. I'm still pissed at them about that.
But that was predictable.
Why?
That was
because but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how predictable it was. The movie had just came out, and they literally posted the ending on Facebook.
Oh,
and I was like, why would you? They were like the movie sucked. They both died. Who cares? And I was like, I was
well, yeah, but, but you know what? Because of to every black movie that's like that, the character is always dying. If you go back to the one where the dad takes over the police station because they killed his son, it's like we have to, if we do something like that, the character has to die. That's like a psychological
American Son.
Yeah, that's like a psychological thing to tell black people, don't try this. You get what I'm saying?
Care.
No, I'm just saying though, but that's because I want to see one where we make it at the end. Like, yo, you know what? I saw Lift, the Kevin Hart joint, Lift. We saw that on Netflix too.
Lift. I wanted to see that.
I enjoyed it. So many people got it. And here's my thing, and this is transitioning where we're at and stuff. I think we're too much in a negative headspace about people's content and what people are creating, especially our own, that it drives us to losing. You can't win for nothing. You know that saying? We're doing more damage to ourselves. It's like everybody goes, oh, Tubi, it's ran by Fox. He bought that back in 2020. We talked about that on the show. Like we already knew, but the key is you already know who owns these platforms that you're trying to get on. You already know who has the money in most cases. The two things I tell people: one, don't ever count other people's money. That what decisions you would make and the decisions they make are different because of that money, right? But two, don't mess up your golden goose when you can use it to build what you got. It's nothing wrong with us going to a Tubi and getting their money and then turn around building our own platform or funding our own films and projects. It takes away the need for investors and everybody to greenlight stuff. And independent filmmakers are kind of been the worst to themselves. Well, no, I'm going to be real. Black independent filmmakers have kind of been the worst because they sit there, it's a Tubi movie, and they downplay it and they don't see the validity of how that can help you financial. Doesn't matter if your movie's bad or good. That's subjective anyway. There's a lot of bad movies that became good movies. Let's think about Monster Squad. Didn't make any money in a movie theater and now has a cult following. Or Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well,
but go ahead, bro.
I would like to slightly chime in and disagree. The quality, what Tubi has done is lowered the bar for filmmaking. What has happened is the standard thing about Black people's quality of content. So because it's lowered the bar, anybody can put content on there, right? And that's okay. Like you said, I agree with you. But you got to sit down and look that because of that, there's a lot of bad movies on there. And a lot of times when they become a cult following, it's not because they're a good movie. It's because you got a small group of people that enjoy it regardless of all the flaws and everything else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I accept it, but we do got to step our game up, and we do got to have a place where the best of our content goes, right? You can't lump us all together because there's some filmmakers that quality isn't the same. Like I got a movie on Tubi that I DP'd and edited, right? But and that's what I was going to talk about when we get into, but like I have one on there called The End of the Line. I was a DP and editor. And we talked about, that's another story. But anyway, we talked about that. But then it's also next to something that people might not want to watch. Right?
But that's subjective.
So,
like,
it's a give and take.
Right. Let me give you this. Remember when we were kids? We're older. We're older, right? TK like, no. We were around when HBO and Showtime and Movie Channel first came. You get what I'm saying? When you didn't see blockbuster movies on HBO all the time, that was like every week or month or whatever, but you saw a lot of BC level movies. And that's what kept them going until we got to the present where they make their own content instead of taking all these independent stuff. We used to go into Blockbusters or Arrows. Yes, and get independent films because we saw the cover and they weren't all good, but the stories were good. Some of them weren't shot great, but I remember people talking so bad about Nollywood. And I just need us to think about that for a second. Nollywood films used to look atrocious. The stories weren't so great. There was, again, how I feel, how something looks to me is subjective. But at the end of the day, where is Nollywood now when it comes to this industry? And where is Black films of America when it comes to this industry? Nollywood has TV series on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. We keep begging America, who doesn't really look for us like that anyway, and they keep canceling our shows. We keep begging. They don't have to beg. And that's the difference. Like, it starts somewhere, but if we get behind ourselves, even if it's trash, it's going to grow because the filmmakers get better. The quality gets better because we're seeking it. Not everybody's going to do that. I'm just going to be real. Not everybody's going to. But again, it's subjective. You can have something that isn't high quality shot, but the storyline is really good. And then
I think you're talking about some exceptions because there's some stuff it's just crap in general, right? But the thing that the thing that even when you call it crap, and I hate to do that, because what I'm proud of is there's some people who talk about being a filmmaker who don't have anything out. And at least you got these people and have an avenue to put stuff out. But I do think you need to start separating the higher quality and better stuff, whether it's a better story or better production value than some of the other stuff where people are figuring it out, right? Because some people aren't figuring it out, they just don't have the money. You know what I mean? And there's a difference, and I think what you're saying is 100% right. But we gotta have, like, in the film game is levels. You got independent stuff that grows, right? And you got blockbuster stuff that sucks. And so, but it's still levels to the game. And when all of our levels are put together, it kind of muddles the field, and we get into this all black people, all this, all that, and that's not really true.
But I think we
and that's
do that
how
to
that's
ourselves.
the only thing I think.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
I
mean?
feel you,
Because
bro.
there is no separation when we live in the Griffin. What you just did is said black fans keep disrespecting Tubi, right? And I know a lot of people that support Tubi.
Right. No. I'm just saying, like, when
Now
I
they
go
laugh
to a
at the
black
Tubi
filmmaker, I'm
foolishness,
not saying fans. I'm
but-
talking about filmmakers. I'm not fans. Fans are different because a fan could like something that I don't like, and because I'm looking at it as tech that there's some issues in it or whatever, and that's where I had to check myself.
Okay, I got what you're
I
saying.
study
now.
this. I do this, so I'm gonna come from a different perspective than an audience, right? And it's like somebody who enjoys music. You got lo-fi music, right? That sounds like it came off a tape, got the hiss in it, all that. But somebody likes that because it brings a level of nostalgia to it. And Wu-Tang's first album, it was done in the basement. You know what I mean? Then they took stuff to the studio. And if you compare it to some albums that were out that had studio quality, it doesn't compare in quality, but it compares in quality of it was good. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that was a banging album. So that's where I look at stuff is we get very caught up in someone else's work and what we like it or not, as opposed to, yo, if I don't like something or I don't like what's being made, I go make what I want to be made. That's the first thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's rule number one.
You know, they say comparison is the thief of joy.
There you go. And I think that's our mistake. We spend way too much time stating our opinion about other people's work. Not you.
Go check out End of the Line.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying what I've been seeing in different black filmmaker groups and stuff, they spend a lot of time comparing or breaking down someone else's work and less time probably on their own stuff.
Well, this is what I say. If they're spending a whole lot of time commenting in the group, then they ain't out shooting.
Listen, I said that before. I want to jump in and
go
just
ahead.
acknowledge some of the comments. Miss Ned and Jeanette says she watched Malcolm XX. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was good, but was a little too much although the ending sucked. Like Raising Canaan when she was talking about that, and she says
that was the best.
Snoop Dogg, the underdog, was good. And she also said someone asked her how many times was that word amoeba. How do you say it, Jacoby? Amoebable was in the song.
What? Amenable?
Amenable?
Oh, Mbube.
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 Was there?
Mbube.
And Renita said,
I don't know. I wasn't counting. I ain't counting.
Renita said, "Leave the world behind" was good. That's what
That's what it is. Leave the world behind. Thank you, Anita. See, I knew somebody was going to know.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Darrell said he'd been watching Abbott
When the
Elementary.
deer showed up, all weird.
Yeah, all the deer. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Swagger, Ted Lasso, Friday Night Lights. Oh, you've been watching Friday Night Lights? You probably seen me in there. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And Swagger, I heard that they canceled.
Oh wow, Swagger's good. I didn't get a chance to watch season 2 yet.
I heard they canceled it.
Oh, I didn't watch Swagger yet.
Swagger is really good. I did see a few episodes of the first season because I don't have Apple TV. I watched it on the plane. But Darrell said, from my conversations I had, unfortunately, black filmmakers don't have the grace or luxury to figure it out. But I do want to add the one thing about Tubi. I heard. I didn't look this up myself, but their quality, instead of like 1060 being the baseline, is 780.
Right.
And that creates, like you said, a lot of problems because then you set the bar for these 780 films to come in, and then they come in and you get all of these films at 780, of course, and the baseline is not 1060. They're going to definitely have a whole different
So
look and a whole different.
let's do business real quick. What
Mhm.
Tubi did is nothing that Amazon didn't do.
Mhm.
Is nothing that Netflix didn't do in the very beginning with taking a lot of independent films. That's what most of the platforms, even what's the other platform that was free like Tubi? Crackle did it. There's another one, Pluto.
I was
I'm
going to
looking
say,
Pluto
yeah,
TV.
Pluto. Yeah.
They all take some old movies, some independent films, old TV shows, everything. They're trying to build the audience. They got to. All right. Yes, the previous owner of Fox bought Tubi in 2020 during COVID, while they were selling it. We talked about it on the show. I know how Fox works. I knew how CW worked. They build us as an audience, and then they wipe our shows out and bring things like 90210 in, like it has done before on UPN, My TV, all that. It ain't nothing new. The key is to leverage that type of structure to benefit us, to bring in the money for us to make our content. The key is that we use a YouTube or fan base, which is another thing, or Patreon at this point, because, and we're going to transition in that with this, because streaming is about 40% of the revenue right now in the industry. 39.
That's why they had the
9. Huh?
But that's what the strike was about. They understood that, and how streaming leverages low payouts to increase their shit, to increase their revenue. But they knew that.
But at some point, it's not where it used to be. Like when I did my first feature film, right? I was doing a study on where to go. And it said straight to home DVDs and movies, VHSs, was 60% of the industry's income. So when you stop and think for wait, 60 versus that 40. Let me take a look at this. If straight to DVD is where it's at, that's where we need to be at, right? That's as an independent filmmaker, you can go straight to DVD because that's where the sales are. That's where the money is, 60%. Movie theaters accounted for like barely 20%. They weren't even that high. Movie theaters have been struggling to stay alive for a minute. Since you could get movies at Blockbusters and Arrows, let's be truthful. The viewer is comfortable watching content at home. They want to. The people are building home theaters. We got these big flat screen TVs now. Now the Apple Vision Pro and the Oculus, all this personalized watching film, game changers.
Yeah, but like you said, now this goes back to something we started earlier. I agree with you. We need to stop complaining about where we can get our stuff and leverage the basis, and that's the part I was talking about. There's a lower barrier for entry, and the more you make, and I disagree with the person that says that Black filmmakers don't have the opportunity to work it out. The more you make films, the more you work it out and figure it out, right? And so you can't shoot one thing and say, this is my pride and joy, and then that's the last piece of work you shot in 10 years. You know? And so, like you said, we need to take these avenues like Tubi or whatever comes up and leverage them, because we put out our first feature film on DVD and sold them hand to hand, you know? So I get it, and I totally agree. And
so, like, looking at it, where are we at right now?
Now we're gonna talk about where we've been.
Yeah, okay, so and I just want everybody to know, so I when we were originally supposed to come back in September, my mom died. Okay. I'm teaching, doing all the stuff I can. We have a lot of stuff going on in our family that has dealing stuff with my dad, my brother. just a lot of things on my mind, so I needed to take some time away. Still probably need to because I'm looked to for a lot of things, and I'm younger than everybody else. So there's a lot of weight in different ways in our family that's being distributed, and for me, it's just been one of those places. But like, this is my passion. My mom knows this. My dad knows it. Filmmaking has been my thing. It's probably one of the greatest things was I made the video for my mom's funeral. And I didn't break down until after it was done. Like, I was kept that whole time. And I've said it on the show plenty of times, like, yo, if with your camera, whatever, if you got family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, your parents, whoever's still alive, sit down, interview them, talk to them. That's the history. That alone is what we should be doing, the origins of our family. That's more powerful than anything, and it can guide us. But that's what I've been dealing with. So we kind of we had to cancel the show because I had to run out there, and then we were coming on the next weekend, and boom, it hit, and I had to bounce. So that's where I am. Still dealing, pressing forward, but it's a 2024, and I got to regroup. I still have a lot going on, and so you know, as my personal slogan is "Build your dream, leave your legacy." And my parents' legacy was their children and the things they've done. So I'm going to continue to push that legacy. My dad is still here, but he's dealing with some stuff, and so that's where we are. Didn't want to bring it down, so.
No, you're not bringing it down. We're all
so,
family. No,
yeah.
we're all family. We support you and love you. No, we're all family. You know, everybody on here. We're the Filmmakers Lounge. We're the group. We're the family. You know what I mean? So
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
for us to understand and know where we can lift you up and pray for you as a whole. You know, yeah, you don't have to apologize for that at all. Please.
No, we're there for each other. Let me tell y'all, and I want to say this because I am one for celebrate your people and cheer them on and be appreciative and show how grateful you are. And I'm grateful to TK and Jacoby because y'all were texting me, calling me. Lewis texting me, calling me. Jamal, DJ Sci-Fi, everybody was texting me, calling me, and just checking on me. And because I went radio silent. I mean, like, I rarely was on Facebook or anything like that. I dropped in every once in a while, and then it just was like stuff was happening. But like, they checked on me, and I'm appreciative of that because when you got people who are checking on you and seeing how you doing, and Lewis lost his mom back, last May, and so he's like, I know how you feel, brother, so. And we were talking. There's times we just get on the phone, talk for hours of what we're dealing with, and so that's where we got to be, But I look at we're family. Black people, we family, and
exactly.
We do. It's a lot, but in that there's so many stories. I told TK, I said, man, I have so many stories, but I'll tell you, therapeutic filmmaking can be therapeutic for people. Storytelling can be therapeutic. That's why I said we're all in this for a different reason. You just got to know why you're in it. I love this because we're storytellers and the power to tell our own stories, not let somebody tell our narrative and teach us how to tell our narrative, but for us, and what I like about today's society, the equipment ain't expensive. You just got to know how to use it. $10,000 camera. Trust me, when them cameras was $100,000, $200,000, that you weren't doing. But $10,000, you can find $10,000. Trust me when I say that. Sell your car, get a used one, and take the difference and buy a camera or put some money aside. Or there's cameras that are like $2,500. You can't find $2,500. You in the wrong game.
Shoot, you can get some black magics at what you call it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you in the wrong game.
At the pawn shop. No, I called the pawn shop because I was looking for cameras. They had like black magics. I want to say like it was one for like $600 or $800.
Oh,
People,
must be that
but what I tell people, the pawn shop is not for broken things. It's for people who broke. So they have equipment Yeah, they have equipment at the at the pawn shop because people needed to pawn it, or they sold it to get they wanted something better. They just sold it or sold it online. So yeah, it's some stuff out there. I'm not a camera person, so I called for someone else.
So that's where I am, and where I'm going is we're coming back. We're gonna our shows are gonna be an hour. We're not gonna hold y'all 10 to 11. Boom, we in and out. We might give it take a minute, but 10 or 11, we're out. Well, I got the timer on, so But go ahead, TK. I'm sorry, TK. Which one of y'all? Nah.
Jacoby can go first. Next.
All right. This time I'll go first. We won't let you go last anymore after this time, TK.
Right.
So I've been doing a lot. Me and Mike talk a lot of times through it. So first, I've been shooting and creating content for a HBCU sports media company, and called HBCU Game Day, and it's been a learning process for me. I've been through 3 cameras, a bunch of lenses to figure out what works, and it's really like when I first started shooting, I had a C70. Me and Mike talked and chatted over that. Then I got the red Komodo, and we talked, and now I'm in love with the Sony. It works for me. And Mike, when I got the Sony, Mike was like, "Yeah, right, man. You're gonna be mad at this in a few months too." And I said, "Bruh, you might be right, but I don't feel like it." And I haven't said a bad word yet about the Sony.
Okay.
I really like it. It's not really the image.
Mm-hmm.
All the cameras, the images were good, but the ergonomics, the ease of use,
right,
for what I wanted to do was great. And so, but then I've also learned, like, with the speed of creating content, I made a lot of mistakes. And so getting a workflow, understanding a workflow, because it's not like news. Like, I got to shoot a basketball game, write a recap, hit some highlights, do some social media stuff, and get it up by the next day. And you're like, I got to do that. I'm in grad school, all this other stuff. And it was a learning process. I'm getting better at it now. But what it did do was, because I had to tell stories all the time, it helped improve my storytelling. So if you watch my first videos to my last video, you get to see my storytelling. Because in my first videos, you probably wouldn't think that I could tell a story or shoot, because it was a learning process. When you go from sitting on sticks, to capturing a football game or basketball game,
help the viewers at home know what sticks are.
Different ball game.
That's
and
no, I don't. But know what sticks are.
Right.
A tripod. So I'm shooting. Okay, so as you know, when you DP films or even some documentaries, most of the time you're locked down on the tripod. You might have a few devices, but nothing is moving at the speed of a running back or a football or anything else. So you're relaxed. Like, I'm relaxed behind there. Even if I'm tracking a shot, I'm still relaxed. But in a football game, you have no control over nothing. I got run over a few times, because you lose yourself in the shot. And as it's coming to you, like, oh, this is beautiful. And then it goes black. So,
oh, wow.
It was a transition. But now it's, I'm getting the hang of it, and I love it because I'm getting to watch. Sometimes, like, I've been doing it for 3 years, but this is a culmination for me, is that you get to see some young men grow up. Some young athletes grow up. I've talked to a few NFL draft picks. I've interviewed some NBA hopefuls. And you get to sit and meet kids. And a lot of times it's a great experience. And I get paid to watch sports. Like, I get paid to stand on the sideline of HBCU college sports. And if you have not been to an HBCU sporting event, it is pageantry at its finest. So, and like I said, I do have a movie that came out called End of the Line on Tubi. I was a DP and editor. And Swing the Movie on Amazon Prime is another movie that I helped co-produce. And so, in school. So those are all the things. I'm losing. Swing the Movie.
Swing, SWING.
You looking at me like that? Is that a side eye T?
No, I'm
No,
asking
Yes. Swing.
SWING,
Like,
to
like
swing on
swing.
somebody.
yes. That's swing,
Or
like swinging on a swing.
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, or swinging on a swing,
The
I guess.
movie.
Okay, yeah. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, TK. Where you
So,
going?
but
Oh, sorry,
it's
Jacob.
been
Go ahead.
it's been a wild ride. No, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead, TK.
So I just basically a continuation of 2023 in regards to preparing for the feature film that I've been led to make, and there are a lot of I didn't realize last year. I know I wrote the movie, and then when I was in search for a director, I found out I was a director, which was surprising. And then I was told to sit down and produce the movie. So um, the continuation of I'm trying to think, since September. But of course, I have the board behind me with the mock poster, promotional cities, cast and crew. Basically, set nerves, therapists, like everything, every position that I've been praying about. And at the beginning of this year, I realized I needed to change um, the composer and the music supervisor because I just assumed I knew who it was. But then I started having dreams, and I was like, "Uh-oh, something's not right," because I was praying about the cast and the crew and everybody that's supposed to be involved, and it was like something's not right. So I ended up, I was about to research for a composer and music supervisor, and God was like, "Rest," on a Friday, and I'm like, I need to find a composer. And so I watched the film. I rested. I watched the film that a friend of mine is in. And I was like, who is this composer? They literally, and amen, like the sound and stuff was kind of bad and this and that. But the composer did his job. Like his job was done. I looked him up. He's been mentored like by the guy who did the Dark Knight and some other stuff. And this composer has about 130 projects. He does everything from like short films to Hallmark. And I was like, and so God was like, yeah, he's talented like you. He just haven't had his big break. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I reached out or whatever. And then that following Sunday was kind of the same thing, rest. I was like, but I need to find a music supervisor. It's like rest. And so when I rested, God told me exactly who the music supervisor was that same day. So I've had meetings with the songwriter who's writing the title track. I met with her last week. I know now who's singing the title track, actually singing the title track. So I literally have been toured, what is that? Pantego Studios, which is in Greenbrier. It's Tyler Perry's old studio.
Okay.
Found the biggest location that I need. I found that there. And listen, guys, let me say this. We went to that studio. These people did not know us at all. My AP wanted me to see the thing, so Pangea. Thank you, Jalen. Jalen, my AP. So Jalen set up the thing because I wasn't going to look for a location till the last minute, but he ended up setting up because this is the biggest location. He ended up setting up that tour. Let me tell you guys, so many times we think things above us are not within our reach. This is one of those times that was checked for me because when we got to the security gate, I was on the phone with Jalen. Jalen was in front of me, and he pulled up to the security gate, and he was like, "Hi, my name is Jalen Daniels. I'm the associate producer. We scheduled the tour, blah blah blah." And the lady was like, "Yes, oh my God, yes, welcome, yeah, come on in." And I'm looking at her body language, and I'm listening to her on the phone. And he's like, "And this is TK Henderson, the writer director behind me." She's, yes, you guys, come on in. Those guys. Cam was the first guy. He actually gave us a grand tour. We saw the houses that we looked at, and then I said, "What about that house over there?" And he's like, "I'm going to show you guys everything." Never once did they ask what our budget was. Never once did they say it, can you afford us or you're wasting our time. We never, they showed us everything. Oh, Disney used this house. Oh, the other black girl, they filmed here and Little Baby's video, they just name dropping all these names and never once did they treat us like they could they can you afford us? When I went home that night, I was literally on a high because I was like, the way these people treated us on this studio lot, like it was amazing. So I would say, as an independent filmmaker, listen, there is nothing out of reach. There is nothing. And then when we talked about the price and stuff, that came as a surprise because they were willing to work with us. And I was just like, shut up. Like, these people, I give them kudos on top of kudos. I was like, I need to write a review. I need to write a whole bunch of stuff. Like, they made us feel so welcome. And the studio manager came and joined us, and they were so impressed, which is just for me. I know God has given me all of this stuff, and He's telling me how to do it and what to do and giving me instructions every day. But when other people acknowledge, like them, they're dropping all these names. They work with Tyler, all these other people, and they're literally like, "Oh my God, this girl knows her stuff." Like, "Oh my God, and she got this whole thing mapped up in her head." Like, they were just like, because when I was in the house, when we finally made it to the house that I wanted to see, I mean, everything just started downloading. The first thing Jalen said was like, "TK, the couch is on the left," because in my script, the couch is on the left. A friend of mine read it. I was like, "Where's the couch?" She's like, "On the left." So when we walked in, Jalen's like, "TK, the couch is on the left." And so everything just started downloading. And so these guys were just watching, and they were like, "Oh my God." And it just felt really good. It did feel good on a personal level that, yes, I didn't have any question in my mind that I didn't know what I was doing, because God is literally giving me shots. Well, not a lot of shots and angles, because, of course, Michael and Jacoby, that is not my job. I had like 4 out of 66 scenes. But to say that, and another thing, I just throw this little tad bit in. I was sitting on the couch one day, and God said, "Shoot the private party like Ronnie's party in Minister Society." I was like, "Lord, how do you know about Minister Society?" But I had to go watch it on YouTube and figure it out. So many times, like we talked about that box, we put ourselves in boxes. We put God in boxes. We will put people in boxes. Remove that box. Quit limiting, like the studio thing. I would have never looked at the studio lot for a residential thing. I would have been like, "Oh, that's a studio now. We got to find somebody's house." But because I had somebody who believed higher, and believed bigger, we visited that, and now that's going to be our main that's going to be our main location. The other thing I'll say, by the time I met with the music supervisor, because we always talk about preparing, if you're praying but not preparing. I want this money to make films. Okay, well, where's the pitch deck? Where's the budget? You want this to make the films? Where is the stuff set? Right. Everything I have is laid out. When I met with the music supervisor, he was like, "Oh," because he talked to me for 2 hours, what I needed to do, what I should do, how to do this and how to do that, and I listened. About 15 minutes of that referred to me that I needed to know of that 2-hour conversation. When I sent him all 66 scenes, including the opening and the ending, and everything, every music cue, every song, everything, he was just like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I'm not coming to you unprepared. Like, I'm not." Everything, when I say everything is laid out, guys, ask me a question and I can, y'all gonna have to quiz me. We're gonna have to get on here so you guys can quiz me to make sure, make sure I've thought of, almost everything. Because some things are just typically, like, I'm not going through props. Like, that's not my job. Like, literally, I'm already producing this whole thing. I'm not going through props. Like, that's the prop man job. When I pass this script, you get your little highlight and do what you need to do. But to say that, and I always speak on this, stop praying for stuff you're not preparing for, period. Like, there is no way. When these people drop this budget on me, all I have to do is call the people. All I have to do is call the people, lock in the dates, and execute. That's it. Pre-production is done. I think all but 6 or 7 of the cast members already picked out, already done. I've already reached out. I have LOIs. So
big dog.
Yes.
What's an LOI, TK? Come on. I asked you guys this because we're using terminologies we're familiar with.
No, you're exactly right. I have letter of intent. Letter of intent from a lot of actors and stuff, including Quaven Janae, which they re-released. If you have not seen Beast of the Southern Wild, the one that earned her Oscar nomination, It
Mhm.
is on Hulu. Go watch it. Letter of Intent. So, um, and then I'm still having meetings. I have to meet with that girl Lele. I have to meet with her family.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So basically, I was going to say one more thing to that, and I can't remember. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing is getting instructions basically daily, and I've been following the daily. So even though my budget's not in, I have like the song will be finished by the time the budget hit. The title track will be finished.
Mm.
The
Okay.
song will be written. Then I have to get the person singing the song, who is Tyler. I'm gonna say that here and now because that's who God told me and confirmed the same day. And the next day she won a Grammy. So welcome to the team.
All right, I want to throw this out there because I know we're coming up to time. See?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Paying
yeah. I was trying to
attention.
watch time
Paying
too.
attention.
I was trying to watch it.
I want you to think about this. In the United States of America, 90% of the population is reached by television. This is based on Nielsen ratings. Right? So I want us to start thinking about what's coming. And what I mean by that is, I mentioned it earlier, the Apple Vision Pro, the Oculus. We are about to be in a VR world. And as filmmakers, what are you doing to prepare for VR and AR or interactive VR with your films, with your projects? Right when the Apple Vision Pro was released, both Disney Plus and Apple and with their movie list released certain movies, about 100 films in 3D. Do you know how to make a 3D film? So this is where we're thinking has to change, because we're about to be in a more immersed world with content. The viewer is going to be more personalized.
And with the ability of Unreal Engine, things are going to be streamlined too, and AI with that also. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have that conversation because we were having that conversation, and I'm like, okay, so listen, I don't understand, and I'm confused, and how? So we're gonna have to have that. That's a whole different show because we're gonna do some.
You got to watch more sci-fi, TK.
But I'm not a sci-fi person.
Watch Ready Player One. If you really want to get a grip of what's about to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
But I'm not a sci-fi person.
Yes. And like
surrogates.
When you I know, but those are the things that give you the capabilities of what this AI and what like Unreal Engine. If you watched some movies, what was the first one that we talked? Me and you talked about it. The Mandalorian, right?
Oh yeah.
Everything was pre-built. All the sets were pre-built. They were in a room, right? And they built all the sets, and so it looks like they're really there, and they're in a room that no matter where they turn, the landscape changes and everything to keep them in that kind of real world environment as they're acting, right? That's AI a little bit, and that's Unreal Engine in 3D, but that's where you get to see it first, and then it trickles into other things. You know what I mean? That's why, like, when you look at Star Wars or some of these sci-fi movies, that's the first place they start a lot of the changes and transitions of what they do in other movies.
Yeah.
If you watch, what's that movie with Denzel Washington's son?
The
new
Creator.
One. And they shot the whole movie on FX3s. Yes. They shot the whole movie on FX3, a $4,000 camera. Right? And so like they use a lot of that AI technology in there also. And they blended very well the real world stuff with the AI, with the CG stuff. And so that's where it happens. So if you want to know about it and find out where it's coming, either watch the science fiction or watch how they made it. Because they always come out. If you got Apple TV, not Apple TV, if you got Disney Plus, they always have How I Made This or the backbones. And so sci-fi is where it starts. I get it because I don't like Power, but I'm the only black person that probably don't. Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I
Another
don't,
story.
I don't watch Power either. So
Well, so and that's the thing. That's
That makes
the thing is watch the business. That's what we need to do. So we're gonna leave you guys with that because this is something you need to be researching and looking for yourselves. TK, because we ain't gonna let you go last. What is your 60-second jewel?
I said it at the end of my thing.
What?
I said it. I reiterated about being prepared. So when I sit in front of these investors, when I'm in pitch meetings now and sitting in front of these investors, and I show them the complete breakdown of the full budget, including how much I'm paying each person for rehearsal and who's coming to rehearsal, like and the gas in the car and everything is broken down. I can show them anything they ask for, and they're like, "So you're ready."
There you
So
go.
be ready. So when you sit in front of people and get those movies, yes. And Jalen said, get out the box and don't put people in the box. Sometimes when we're talking to other people, we put other people in the box not knowing it. So stay out of the box, put the people in the box. Matter of fact, just forget there was even a box. Unless you're moving, there are no boxes.
All right.
That's the
Jacoby.
gym.
Don't make stuff for other people. Make stuff you like, or make as an artist, create what you like. I think Mike sent that to me, but that stuck with me and sat with me for a long time. That's we send a lot of Instagram messages from stuff, motivation we hear, and that was a word for me. Make stuff that I would enjoy watching.
Yeah, and I think that ends the conversation of people, and I'll just pick it back real quick. That ends the conversation of people saying, well, filmmakers need to produce this. Filmmakers need to do that. Derek said, and invite people to watch it. You make your own thing. What's up, Derek?
What's up, Derek?
Derek checked on me too. Like, that's the thing. So if you want, I always say to filmmakers, stop getting on these platforms saying, oh, people need to produce this type of movies. I'm so tired of watching slave movies. You're tired of watching slave movies and you're a filmmaker, then you go make the other films you want to see. Stop telling somebody else what they're doing is wrong, because it ain't. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to produce. And so you got to let them do it. You know what I mean? And that's the reality at this. So bottom line, I'm going to challenge you guys going to 2024 through 2025. If you want to see it done, go do it. In corporate world, when you say something, or my job, when you bring up something, start the committee. Make it happen. And, that's what they do.
Start the committee. Start the committee.
Get
It's
your
you.
committee and we'll do it. They ain't going, like, they wait for you to do it. You suggested it. So you should have a plan for it. Whatever solution you got, you should be working it. If you're not working it and you want someone else to work it, then you don't really have a solution. You just running your mouth.
Whoop.
And that's what we need to do. Stop running our mouths and make things happen. So if you believe there's a film worth seeing, make it. That's it. That is my jewel. Piggyback it off of them. And really prepare your behavior and mindset. I know we over by a couple minutes, but
Oh no, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud. I was like, oh, Jacoby's on too? Oh no, we're not gonna make it.
And I'm sorry if you guys missed the show. We're trying to keep it to an hour from here on out. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. If you didn't get to watch it, just rewind back. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Give us the like, subscribe, share. If you join the Black Filmmakers Lounge community, it's up there in the community. Please, if you're joining our community and it asks you to fill out something, fill it out for real. Don't just say yes, 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 or really say something, because we say yay or nay, because we're not wasting time with people, because we really about what we do. And there's a lot of film groups on Facebook and Instagram. There's tons of them, right? What sets us apart is we about doing. We're not here about gossiping or none of that stuff. We're about trying to make stuff happen, and we're about helping each other so we can reach new heights and new levels. We know there's no such thing as a perfect movie. We already understand that. We know how important quality is and should always be. But we also know that if you're at the beginning stage, you're not going to always be top quality. You're building to that. The key is to learn and get around people and have the conversations to be better and do better. And that's it. And as we always say, be strategic, intentional, and authentic. That is the Black Filmmakers Rounds way. And with that, we're going to say goodbye, everybody. Now, we're going to say thank you for watching us, joining us. Thank you, Brandon, for showing up, brother. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Thomas. We like
Miss Ned, Raynita, Karen.
There we go. Yeah, so we appreciate all of y'all for watching, listening. If you didn't get a chance to catch this live, stream it, share it out with your friends and family. Like, subscribe, share. Just keep it moving. We'll see you next Saturday, 10 o'clock on the dot. And we out. We love y'all. Peace.